Hello. Alright guys, welcome to Jatvraw 2020. We've got like a crazy 1 hour episode for you, so I'm just going to run through this. We've got some videos and Video Vault, so these are interviews that we have done previously that we've not had a chance to post. So it's a North Glasgow Boxing Club special. We've got Stephen Ferguson, David Kwan, and also catching up with Stephen and Adam from North Glasgow, so they'll be dotted throughout the show. The first interview, we've got Tyler Simpson from Southside Boxing Academy. That will be followed up with Haseeb Backer from the Edge Gym. Then we've got Antonia Quayle, again from Southside, and then we've got Chloe Bodwick. A lot of people already, she's well known in the boxing circles. She's out at Alex Arthur's gym now in Edinburgh. Then we'll be talking to Anthony Quayle, who's the head coach at Southside Boxing, and then we've got Ahmed the Black Assassin Mueva, formerly Ahmed the Black Assassin Ibrahim. He'll be giving us the lowdown on his latest fight. That's an interview that's not to be missed. There's a lot of to and fro in between him and Martin Taylor. So guys, let's get started. So first up, a video from a Video Vault. We've got Stephen Ferguson, who chatted to me back in October. Alright guys, I'm at North Glasgow ABC. So the first time I'd seen you fight was obviously for the Scottish Championship, which you won. That's the first time I've managed to catch up with you since then, but just go back to that night. How did that feel?
Well, it was only my second fight, so I was nervous. I was in against a boy that was a lot more experienced than what I was, but I kind of trained hard for it. So I did. It was late nights in here. I trained for a while for it and kind of wanted it.
What made you get into boxing then?
Kind of when I was younger, maybe 13, 14, I went to a club in Cambuslang O'Neill's and I went there for a couple of months and I got my medical, but I was too busy out in the streets and doing the usual stuff you do, you know what I mean? And I took a different path and I kind of came back here to keep fit at a keep fitters class, and then a couple of weeks later I asked about the boxing and thought I was a wee bit too old to start it because I was 25 at the time, but Jocko says you're never too old.
And then you're Scottish champion. Would you say that boxing has influenced your life in a positive way and kept you away from sort of trouble like that?
A full 360. So it's the only thing that other than work, it's the only thing I kind of do. You know what I mean? I train every day through the week. I train at the weekends. I'm kind of constantly thinking about, and it's hard to kind of get fights at my weight, but I'm always thinking about when am I going to get a fight? When am I?
So do you have any fights lined up? Or
I'm back in for the novices this year and the Western District, so hopefully there's got to be somebody at 52 kilo in one of them.
We'll put in a appeal at 52 kilos.
And then I'm going to Portugal in December for a boxing tournament there, the Ovida Box Cup or something.
That's another thing, like, you had the guys, was it Romania or Bulgaria? You had the guys, Romania. So you spent some time there. First of all, how did that come about?
I work here. Well, part of my work is I get to Romania 3-4 times a year, and I work with a project there. And I take volunteers for Scotland there, for disadvantaged backgrounds. Wow. So we arranged to get an exchange where we could bring 12 of the boys for a football team for Romania to come out here, and they worked for street soccer for 2 weeks and got qualifications and all that, and I got Jocko to bring them up here and put them through a circuit and all that.
See, when you go out to Romania, you're meeting guys that are maybe in a worse situation maybe than what we. I mean, we've like I'm not saying I've had it bad in Drumshire. I've grown up in a tough area. You've known tough areas, but you go out there and you're seeing guys that maybe have had a worse situation or they're in. Maybe what you're doing there is influencing them to take the right path, either through football or boxing or some sort of sport. How does that feel?
It makes you feel grateful for what you've got here, especially when you're seeing people where they've got completely nothing, and then you come out here, you've got a house, you've got electricity, you've got all the kind of stuff that you need on a day-to-day basis, and you don't really need to worry, but I can take it for granted at times too.
but cheers. We'll catch your next fight. Definitely be filming a few this year, and good luck, and cheers for talking to us.
Cheers, Jamie.
Alright. Next up, we've got Tyler Simpson from Southside Boxing Academy. He's just a young boxer, but he's got plenty of ambition and already got a great record in the amateur boxing already. So Tyler Simpson, 15 years old, how long have you been boxing?
3 years now.
And what have you achieved in those 3 years?
I've won the Western Districts, I've won the Scottish Championships, won the MTK Box Cup, and I've boxed for Scotland in the GBs.
Just to go back to the beginning, but I've heard when you competed in the novices, I was speaking to your coach and he said he wasn't too sure if you were ready, but put you in. How did you get on it there?
I lost in a split decision. I think was it 3-2? I think it was 3-2, but that just made me even better.
So do you feel under pressure when you're in the ring, and does that motivate you when you if you've obviously you need to suss your opponent out quite quickly? So what's your sort of mindset when you get in the ring?
Spar them.
This year you got a busy next few months. I think first up we've got the Western Districts this year. You're going to return as a returning champion there. Then we've got the Scottish, and then we've got your home show, and then after that we've got the MTK, which you're also a returning champion. And what are you looking forward to the most of those four?
The Scottish Championships, definitely.
So was it last year you competed in the Scottish, you won, and then you were selected to represent Scotland at the GBs. How does it feel representing your country in a sort of bigger event down south?
It was brilliant. It was a brilliant experience.
You must be at a stage now where you're recognising some other boxers that maybe you've had fights with. You sort of know their sort of skills and their talents. And is there anybody that you don't need to mention them, but is there people on your radar that you think, oh, do you know what, I'd like to fight this guy and batter him, as you say?
Lots.
Do you get a lot of competition in your gym? There's a lot of people your same height, weight, build.
Most of us are like my weight and height, so I would get good sparring.
And how do you manage juggling your life outside the gym? Do you get a chance to chill with your mates, or do you make new friends like in the boxing academy?
I've made new friends, but I still go out with my old friends and that.
I think long term you want to become pro, you want to make this your life and you want to make a career out of it. Do you watch any boxers, like Scottish boxers or even British boxers, that you think, oh, do you know what, I want to be like that?
Aye, loads. I like Anthony Joshua. He's my favourite in it.
Last one I got to talk, you've got the home show coming up 7th of March. We're going to be there, we're going to be filming. Do you know who you're fighting yet, or is it a bit too far away?
I think I'm fighting the English champion for the Borders or something.
Is it easier to perform in front of a home show, or do you is there an added sort of pressure because you're fighting in front of people you know, people that are from your area or whatever?
I think there's added pressure. It's in front of everyone.
But when you're in the ring, do you hear people shouting, or is it just you and the guy you're fighting against?
Just hear Anton.
Is that a good or bad thing?
Good.
Perfect, my man. Thank you. Another video from our video vault. I caught up with Stephen and Adam. This again is from back in October when I was out in North Glasgow. I just finished a fitness class and these guys were winding me up, so I stuck a camera in front of their face and we had a wee interview. Comfy? You ready? So I'm joining in the pull down weight machine. We've got Adam and Stephen both in North Glasgow. Before we start, you've seen me now 2 days I've been attending that fitness class. How do you think I got on?
Alright.
I thought I'd done quite well. There was a fire alarm in between, so we had to go outside, but we're not pointing any fingers, but somebody might have got a fiver to set it off for me. So Adam, you just came back after the season's no long started, isn't it? You just got back for school. What have you got coming up?
No any fights that I know of like coming up, but I've got definitely the Westerns and then the Scottish, but I can't enter the novice and intermediates because I've got too many fights.
And what about you, Stephen?
Just the same as him.
I'm out to do competitions now because I'm out of fights, so I'll just be in the Western and Scottish this season as well.
So I imagine it's train in the gym. Is Jocko keeping you going? What's the other coaches you were training with? Who was he? Alan?
There's two Allens.
Aye, the famous two Allens. Right, so you've got the Western Districts coming up. You can't fight in the novice, neither can you. There's too many fights. How easy is it to get fights at your age and your weight?
Well, there's a good few boys running about my weight, but like fights come in now and then. And then obviously the competitions like the Westerns and the Scottish.
Do you think boxing, like I know boxing boosts people's confidence? Obviously, you're learning how to punch people and stuff as well. Does that give you a bit more confidence when you're out and you're dealing with people that are like trying to wind you up or set about you?
I mean, I don't know if it makes you like, more aggressive, right? It actually makes you a bit more disciplined. Like you don't really get your way to fight anybody or cause any trouble. It kind of makes you a bit calmer. It's made me a better person actually.
And Adam, what's the story with you?
So my dad took my big brother to the boxing gym to start boxing.
I know your big brother. Where is he? Did he get up? So your dad brought your big brother. He never stuck at it.
It wasn't a gym that he went to.
Oh, is that why? Do you think that makes a difference?
What do you mean?
Like this gym's a bit better, maybe?
Because I went to another gym. It was like ABC.
Oh, you can't mention them. Alright, so you went to another gym, we won't mention who they are.
And then my big brother was there, and then I wanted to try it out, and then I just didn't stop from there. And then I came to this gym, which is much better.
I'm from Drumchapel, right? I know you fought in Drumchapel. What was that like?
What, fighting in Drumchapel? It was good though.
Were you nervous, Red? Did you get intimidated?
No really, because I used to, but now I'm quite experienced now, that I don't mind it.
And what do you think about the Drumchapel crowd? The animals?
Aye, the Greenock.
What'd you say?
Greenock.
Oh, Greenock?
Aye.
What's that like?
Mental.
Stephen, where do you see yourself in future with boxing? Do you look at some of these guys, some of the pros, or even Stephen Ferguson in the gym, Scottish champion? He got it in second fight. Do you think, oh, I want one of the belts, I want my belt and my picture up in the wall?
Well, I don't really know where boxing's going to take you. Like, you never really know. It's just one of the things where you either you do well or you don't. But you don't really know where it's going to take you. You just need to train, stick in it and see where you go.
And what about you? Do you think I'll be selling your tickets maybe in about 5-10 year time?
Hopefully.
As long as you give me the exclusive interviews. Alright, we'll finish up there because I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm going to try and get home, but thank you for talking to me. Cheers, my man. Okay, a young boxer I'm trying to support as best I can. He's 14 years old, he's had one fight, he's been training like crazy. Hasib Bakar from the gym. Here he is. Right, so Hasib, we'll start at the beginning. How long have you been boxing?
A year and a half, just a year and a half, yeah.
So what made you get into boxing?
At first it was just fitness, but then I just like to punch people in the face, I guess. Yeah.
So you're 14 years old. You've had many fights. You had?
I've had one amateur fight.
And how did that go?
I won unanimous decision.
So that was up at, it was what show was that? The Clarence.
Yeah, Clarence Minors. Yeah.
So where do you go from here?
Just continue to have my amateur fights. Hopefully, fight for a GB team, Commonwealth, maybe then turn pro.
So that's your long term ambition. So you're still at the early stages of your career. So a lot of boxers I speak to, they've went through the novices, they've done the Western Districts, Scotland, but you're right at the beginning. So what do you focus on just now? Like when you got gym, I know you said fitness, but is there any styles that you're sort of playing with, or what does your coaches, what advice that they give?
My coaches just tell me, they're teaching me new things every day, but I like to watch fighters like Muhammad Ali. I like his style, just dancing around the ring, playing about, you know, just moving, footwork, stuff like a fight style like that. But I just focus on the person in front of me. I don't look ahead of nobody. Just keep focused on the first fight, then just move on to the next one.
So the Edge Gym's quite a new amateur gym. I think they've just registered recently. But your coaches, I mean, they've got like tons and tons of experience. They're quite well known, I think, in the boxing circles. How do you get on with your coaches? Are they decent guys?
Yeah, my coaches are good guys. Bernie, Robert and Barry, like really good coaches. Taught me everything I know.
So I've known you for a while, alright? I'll be honest, one of our friends, I hadn't seen you for about a year or so, and somebody messaged me saying, "Oh, Hasib's getting into boxing, can you come see you?" And I was expecting you still to be about this height, and you come in and you're more or less my height, so you're growing fast. You're, for a 14-year-old, you're tall. Is that an advantage to you, do you think, or do you think it might be difficult to get fights in the future because you obviously need to find your weight and stuff like that? So how do you see it?
Well, right now it's difficult to get fights because there's not many people like our weight class and that, just like small weight class and stuff. But in the future, it'll be pretty easy to get fights. But I don't really focus. I don't care if the person's big or small. I just fight's a fight. Just fight the guy. Yeah.
So you're training a lot. I mean, I remember when I was speaking to you, I spoke to Cash as well, Cash Farouk, and was saying, "Oh, this is how you run like every day during your summer break," and he was like, "Oh, make sure he gets a day off and stuff like that." So how do you balance like schoolwork and in the gym and life as well?
If I be honest, school, I'm S3 right now. You know, next year I've got exams and that, but to be honest, I don't really revise or anything like that for school. I'm just focused on boxing, you know. But I've been training like every day, you know. So at first when I started training every day, my body's getting sore and stuff. But now I'm just used to it, so it's normal for me, you know.
And how do your friends see? I mean, I know a lot of the younger guys that your mates with. Not all of them are boxers, but they I mean, we turned up to watch you fight, and there was like 2 full tables of people that were coming to support you. So did you get a lot of support from your friends?
Yeah, I get a lot of support from my friends, especially the older ones, you know, always helping me out with exercise and stuff, recovery, all that stuff. They're always helping me out. Yeah.
And I remember we were at, it was the Black Assassins fight we were at, and afterwards Cash Farouk drove you home. Does he give you any advice? I know you've seen him like a few times even at the mosque and stuff, and what sort of advice does he give you?
He just tell me to keep working hard. He's like, make sure you're training smart, training hard, just keep it up, and hopefully you'll be on that big stage as well soon.
So do you look up to Cash? I mean, because we're from the same area. I've known him since he was 6. Was about the same age since I've known you, probably a bit younger. So do you look at him and go, wow, this is the route? Obviously you'd be heavier, you'd be in a heavier way, but do you look at him and go, this is the route I want to take? I want, like, one day Eddie Hearn will be chatting at your door. We can send this video and ask him to just sign you just now and just cut out all the shit. But so does it, when you see him, do you think, oh, I could go down that route?
Yeah, 100%. I think I could. I think I'll be world champion 100%, and that's just the route. Yeah, I like Cash a lot. I like his fight style, you know, slick, moving his head. I think he beat Lee McGregor pretty easily, and that was it. Yeah, I look up to Cash a bit.
Well, we were in the, I mean, you sat more or less, it was like the 3rd row for the front. You sat next to me. When you watched that fight, how did, obviously there was a bit of shock between us, but did you enjoy the fight and the atmosphere and stuff like this?
Yeah, I enjoyed the fight. Knowing Cash, I was a bit nervous at the beginning, but when he got in the fight, I knew he had it, but in the end the result wasn't what we expected, you know.
Listen, cheers for talking to us. Obviously we know each other, we speak every week, so we'll watch your progression as your career goes. And Hasib's first fight is on JTV Raw. We'll post a link in the description if you want to see him. But cheers, my man. Another interview from Southside Boxing Academy. I've got Antonia Quayle. She's 13 years old. She's done tremendous in boxing already. So here's her interview. So Antonio, from Southside Boxing Academy, how long you been boxing?
Just a wee bit over 6 years.
And in that 6 years, what's been your biggest achievement so far?
I'll have to say my biggest achievement was ESCA All-Female Box Cup in Ireland. It was a really, really good competition and I won it.
So I know you've been busy in the last year. You started your year with the MTK event, which you won that event, yeah?
Yeah, that was a really good event, and we're going back this year. And if we go back and if I win again, I get a belt. So I'm excited.
So you go back as a returning champion. Are you the same weight, or you moved up in the weight?
I think you need to be within like 4 kilos or something like that, within the weight that you went, so that you can get the belt. I don't know.
Well, before that, you've got quite a busy year this year. So we've got the Western Districts coming up. Do you have an idea who you're competing against, or is it too early?
I've got an idea, but I hope she's at my weight. So
is that someone that you've picked out that you want to fight?
No. It's just the way it's working out.
Okay, so after that, it's going to be the...
Then it's the Scottish. And I hope I get a fight there. I'm sure I will.
That last year?
Yeah.
And you're coming back again as a champion?
Yeah.
And then we've got your home show, which we're going to cover, and that's in March. You looking forward to that?
Aye, because it's in Hampden, so I'm really excited.
So its home show is going to be in Hampden. This is the biggest stadium in Scotland, right? And you're going to have a home crowd. What's it like boxing in front of a home crowd? Because obviously when you're boxing away, I see a lot of boxers, they turn up, they go and do their thing, and then they go. There is maybe a few people in the audience, but when you've got a home show, you've got like the whole area behind you. What's the difference? How does that feel?
It just feels so good, like hearing everybody cheer for you and shout for you. It's so good.
So that's 7th of March. You've got a lot of events up until then, so I guess you'll just be training in the gym constantly. Did you have a break over Christmas and New Year?
Yeah, I had a 2-week break, I think, and I was on holiday and everything. And
you're in the second year at school, so you're juggling school as well as boxing?
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
It's okay to manage, and rushing home from school to go to training and all that, but it's fine.
How are your friends sort of take that? Do you have any other friends in school that are boxers, or is it like?
Well, some of my boxing team go to my school, but they're in like other years. But my friends do come to training with me sometimes and that, but they're not like actual boxers. They just train and all that with me.
So do you feel, how do you see female boxing is going? Obviously, you get people like Hannah Rank in the pro categories, but in amateur, I mean, there's plenty of female boxers in amateur. Do you think as a sport for females it's growing?
Yeah, it's definitely getting bigger. Not so much in Scotland, but in Ireland it's really big, so I think it will just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Is that your hope, that in Scotland it gets even more bigger, and you take your friends to boxing, but you encourage more females into the sport?
Yeah, 100%.
So where do you see yourself? I mean, you're 13 years old, you've already got an achievement list that's massive, you've got ambitions this year, but where do you see yourself after that? What's the long-term ambition?
Just to get big and be big, I don't know, like...
So do you see boxing as maybe a career further down the line? I mean you're young, so I hate when people used to ask me what I wanted to do when I was younger, because I never knew, but do you see, like, you always hope that maybe boxing is part of your life as you grow up?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be part of my life. I want to keep it part of my life.
So as part of your family's life, I know your dad's here. Is he your coach, or is he just a coach in the gym? Do you get to spend time with it on the pads and stuff like that with your dad?
Yeah, he's my coach. And we go over sometimes, just me and him. He's always on my back, we're always training.
So do you feel like there's maybe more pressure? You know what I mean, when there's boxing's in your family, you get it. Your family, you get it in the gym. Is there more pressure on you to maybe to achieve well, or do you just love maybe spending time with your dad, like in the gym?
I love spending time with him, but it's so much pressure. Like I'm training every single day, and I know that I'm training, and I'm swimming, and I'm doing running, and I know what it's like. So it's just a lot of pressure, and I know that if I don't do that fully, then I'm probably not going to win. So I always refer to boxers as athletes. So you're an athlete at the end of the day. You're competing in major tournaments. You just said there you do running and swimming. So sports is a massive part of your life.
like Scotland has a lot of bad name, let's be honest, about like people that when they grow up they're drinking, they're eating bad foods and that. Do you have to watch your diet, and is that something that you're always conscious of when you're growing up?
I was never really like fat or anything. I've always been quite small and skinny, so it's not been a big problem. But as I'm getting older, obviously I'm getting bigger. So
is it better for you to sort of to be a small boxer in the ring, or you fighting people maybe your same height, same weight and stuff?
Fighting people that are the same height and same weight, but I used to be really small, like I used to be the smallest and all that, but I'm actually getting taller and I'm a lot taller now.
Brilliant. So if you're still with us, we've still got a few interviews to go. Next up is Chloe Bodwick, who's now out at Alex Arthur Academy. She is an amazing person to speak to, a lot of energy. She is one of my favourite female boxers that I've actually filmed when she was back in juries. So here's Chloe's interview. Alright, so I'm joined now with Chloe Bodwick, who's recently joined amazing Alex Arthur Academy, is that what it's called? So Chloe, before we start with what you're doing now, how did you get into boxing?
Well, I got into boxing after my papa died. He was an amateur boxer back in his day. I was genuinely looking for something to get into. My mum took me along to the gym and I've been involved in it ever since then.
Do you think maybe boxing at the time helped you, like coming to terms with maybe your papa dying, or was it somewhere where you could go and sort of release any emotions and stuff like that?
Yeah, it helped me not block it out, but kind of focus on something else. When I went to the gym, and genuinely when I was younger I was quite a heavy kid. I started boxing at 69 kilo and I'm now 52 kilo, so it's helped me cut my weight and become more confident as well. So yeah, it's helped me in a lot of ways.
So you go into a gym, I can imagine it'd be quite daunting I go into gyms all the time and I'm just like something like, wow, there's all these people, I'm getting like unfit, out of shape. But as a young girl, how old were you at the time?
I was only 10 when I started boxing.
So if you're a 10-year-old going into a gym, what did it feel like?
Yeah, it was quite scary to start with, but kind of got used to the idea. And I've loved it ever since then.
So what was the gym like? Because I speak to some female boxers and I'm like, is it like this macho environment? But I think slowly it's becoming a more, like there's a lot of young girls and women that are getting into boxing. It's sort of changing it well. This macho-ness is sort of diluting a bit because women are getting in and making the gym their own. Do you have any issues like that?
No, not really. I was quite lucky. My first gym, the boys welcomed me really well, and they took me in as like one of their own, and I kind of fitted in. I was quite lucky that way. I trained with O'Neill's in Cambuslang. I was their only female fighter, and I was quite lucky because the boys, they all looked out for me and they were always there and they were always helping me to improve and things, so I was quite lucky that way. Yeah, it was a good environment to be in.
So when it comes to competing, do you remember the first time, you remember your first fight or your first competition, what was that like?
Yeah, my first fight was for the Western District title. I came up against a girl with 9 fights, I think, Grace McCormick. I lost, but it was a good learning curve and it was a really good experience for my first fight. And I came away with a silver medal. Wow.
So do you feel like even taking a loss, that gives you motivation and sort of like, because really, although you're fighting other people, a lot of time you're competing with yourself. It's your own sort of personal best in that you're trying. So what is it like to even come away with it? I mean, you got a silver medal, so you done well, but like taking the loss and feeling maybe that disappointment, does that motivate you to go forward?
Yeah, definitely. I was in the gym the following week and I was trying to improve because I had the Scottish 2 weeks after it and I faced the same girl again. I lost again, but it was a much better fight, a much more even fight, and I think the loss in the Westerns motivated me to come back even stronger. Yeah.
So how long ago was this?
This was almost 4 years ago.
So in the last 4 years, what have you done since then? Do you go back to the Western Districts and the Scottish?
Yeah, I have 2 Scottish titles, both at school and junior level. 2 Western District titles, both at school and junior level. I've competed for Scotland 3 times in the British Championships. I've won the Hull Box Cup and the MTK Box Cup, and I created history for Scotland by becoming the first youngest female representative at the European Championships.
Wow. So, how old are you now?
15.
So 15 years old, you've already got like a massive history in boxing, a lot of great achievements. Where do you go from now?
I'm just hoping to achieve as much as I can, to be fair. I'm aiming high this year, and I'm just hoping to make it to the Commonwealth Games one day.
So you've started now working in Alex Arthur's gym. How long have you been at that?
I only just moved before Christmas. It's a real honour to be training with Alex because he's always supported me throughout my career, and I just feel really lucky for him to be my new coach now. Him and Paddy. Paddy's part of the Scotland setup as well, so I know them both very well. And Charlie Flynn, he's one of the new Scotland coaches that I'm training with now. I'm learning new things off of him, and there's just a really good atmosphere about my boxing again that I'm really enjoying.
I know from experience, I mean, Alex commentates a lot of Cash's fights, and I know that when it came to that, he was sort of one of the people that were pushing the Lee McGregor and Cash Frick fight. I think he was pushing the conversation just what happened, and I know he had a lot of respect for both boxers, so I know that there is a lot of support. I think he's got a son called Alex Arthur?
Yeah.
So I filmed him an event up north. That was the first time I'd seen Alex in the corner. So it's a new gym. You're having to travel quite a bit. Is that? How did you manage that with juggling maybe school and things like that as well?
Well, I come straight out of school. My mum meets me, then we get the train through, and it's really worth it because I'm enjoying my training and I'm feeling the benefit from it, and I'm just looking forward to the year ahead with Alex and Paddy.
Does it mean a lot to have? I mean, your mum and dad wrote you the way just now, so me or you don't get nervous. But does it mean a lot to have that support for your parents? Because if your mum's taking you, obviously she's also having to be committed as you as well, done at the events and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not just me that's dedicated to my sport, it's my parents, my family as well. And without them, I wouldn't have the opportunities I have in boxing. And without them making the sacrifices that they do, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's the long-term ambition? Because I mean, female boxing, it's definitely in Scotland. I mean, with the Hannah Rankin fight, that was I think the first time it topped the bill. Was when she was fighting for the title. Where do you see yourself going forward? Maybe even 10 years down the line. What's your ambition?
I'm hoping to make it to the World Championships for Scotland, and I'm hoping to make it to the Commonwealth Games. That's my goal.
Is that the highest you see just now, or do you see yourself maybe you open your own gym in a few years time?
I'm hoping
long term. I mean, for God's sake, not just in 10 years, but
maybe when I retire from boxing, maybe open up my own gym. Yeah, but I'm hoping for a good long career.
Do you see? I mean, I was speaking to Sam Hickey. I was talking to him, and he was doing a lot of travelling with the amateur team, and sometimes I was asking him how he feels being taken away from his family and stuff, and he said like sometimes boxing it can feel quite lonely, and I know that's for Cash as well. We spoke about like trying to keep him seeing friends and talking to friends and that. How is it for you? Do you have mates in the gym? I mean, I know you said when you were at Black O'Neill's you feel quite accepted, but I know even people go to the gym and they've got mates in that there. But do you have friends that come to the gym with you, or is this just your thing that you do?
This is more or less my thing that I do. None of my friends really box or that, so this is my thing. Yeah.
Do they come and see you fight, or they seen any of your fights?
No.
Is there a reason for that?
No, I don't think they really like the idea of me boxing, to be fair, but I enjoy it. So.
To be honest, that was the same. I mean, I've seen it like that's the whole reason I started filming, because people who I cared about were getting in a ring, and for me it was like a barrier between, so I didn't really need to watch what was going on. I imagine that 15 years old, there must be other younger boxers that I know your name's popped up a few times. I filmed one of your fights, but there's a lot of other younger boxers that maybe respect and look up to you. Is there any pressure in that? Do you feel like you have to represent like yourself, but people are looking up and expecting you to do well? So?
Yeah, I think there is some pressure there with the people expecting me to be things, but I quite enjoy being under pressure because it makes me work more, if you know what I mean, and it motivates me to be the best that I can. So I enjoy the pressure. Yeah.
No, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the last interview from Southside Boxing Academy is Anthony Quayle, also known as Anton. He'll be giving us the insight from a coach's point of view and also talking about their upcoming home show in March. Alright, so Anton, you're head coach at Southside Boxing Academy. You've brought two boxers here that we've interviewed. One's your daughter, one's your nephew, but I imagine there's plenty of boxers that you've seen come through the ranks in the years. What's sort of been your favourite highlight when working with young people and sort of developing into boxing?
Well, a lot of people think that it's all about gold medals with us because we've got a wee motto that says making champions, but it's not all about gold medals. It's about the wee boy that's gone nowhere in his life and we changed his life and give him a pathway and give him somewhere to go. He is the club's champion, not the wee boy with the gold medal in his neck. Because sometimes a lot of people, we got 6 Scottish gold champions this year, and they think when I say making champions it's having a dig because it's that, but it's not. It's actually about the wee boys that's gone nowhere in their life and we take them in and we change their life. It's just more important to me as an individual than winning a Scottish gold medal. A lot of people don't see what happens in boxing clubs, and it's sometimes you get more pride in the wee guy that's gone nowhere with his life and you change his life and he ends up not gone down a bad route and that, and he might never reach the highs of being a Scottish champion, but he's there every night and he's off the streets, he's not causing any crime or violence or anything like that. That's, to me, that's what boxing's all about. You know, it's not about being a high performance athlete is the pinnacle. But some of these kids is just get them, steer them. With a young boy there that came to us and he'd been beat all his amateur career, and then we changed him around. 3-4 years later he became Scottish champion, he boxed for his country, he was ready to turn him over to pro, and he went, I'm going to the army. So that was like a big success story, being able to have the confidence to do that. So that's, to me, boxing's more than just winning a gold medal, but okay, we all celebrate that because that's at the pinnacle, but that's what I see boxing as.
So how much does it mean to you when you see, I mean, like this, as you said there, not everybody comes in the gym with confidence, not everybody's got like a good backstory in that, but the sort of gym gives them that place. We spoke earlier, Tyler, about the gym being like a comfort zone where you can go and you can train and feel comfortable. How much does it mean to you that young people are coming in the gym and you're giving them that sort of step and that chance to improve their lives?
That means everything to me because I was that wee boy gone nowhere before when I met boxing, you know, and it shows me that what we're doing is right by the person and not just all about competing. Our club's only about 6 years in existence and we've had like 20 Scottish champions and it's just snowballed, you know. It's like, but we bring them and give them a place to be, which is more important. I believe that when you give a kid a place to be and give them confidence, if you can get that extra 10% out of them in the ring, which I can mostly get out of all my boxers, that's enough for them to beat the other boxer in the other corners, maybe not got that confidence.
Where did you start in boxing? If you go all the way back to the beginning, what made you think, oh, this is a sport I want to be part of?
Well, I started boxing at the James Elliott Centre in the Gorbals for Gorbals United, 1995. And then 96, I got the first bout, and then I went and boxed for Gorbals United. I won the Western Districts, and then you had to win the districts then to go into the nationals. And I went down the Rang Road, and then I came back to boxing, and I got back into it. And then my coach had missed my turn for the Scottish, so he wasn't too happy. But then I got into a lot of trouble, and then I got to do community service at the boxing club, which then changed my life. My pals were all gone out on the dancing scene and that. They were laughing at me going to like Glen office to top the ball for like 60 quid, and that was what I got as a wage at in 96, 97, and they were all laughing at me. But then now some of my pals have no teeth, no hair, and in the jail, and I'm running a successful boxing club, so I made the right choice. Boxing saved me, so I'm looking to save other kids.
Well, I'm for Drum Chapel, so I know a lot of young guys that I went to school with, and some of them took the wrong path and that, but I've seen a lot of young boys and young lassies actually that boxing has saved their life, and obviously you've experienced like life. I always say boxing coaches, they've seen it all, they've done it all. Is there any pressure on you when there's a lot of young people coming in that they're sort of looking up to you as a role model, or do you feel it's just part and parcel of being the coach? Because I always say as well, a lot of the time boxing coaches aren't just coaches, there's maybe a single parent or the additional parent.
Well, there's a few kids that we've got there, and they look at me like the boy I was talking about, some of them look at you like a father figure. But what I do for them, I go above and beyond for all my boxers. Most boxing coaches do. I work a lot we had a project there with 5 young boys that were hard to reach, and we've changed most of their life. So that's just the positive. Boxing has a massive positive impact on communities and on people. I don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't coaching boxing, because I could easily go and get a job and that, and it wouldn't give me the self-satisfaction as what it does changing these young people's lives, you know. So I think a lot of boxing coaches are undervalued within the community as well, because I think that they do an outstanding job. I could name off 10 boxing coaches that put their life on hold just to run their club and do the best for these weigh-ins. It's like some people, would they give up their birthdays to go out with another wee boys for their family? No, and that's what all boxing coaches do. They give up all their time, parties or that, to go with a wee boys, just say for like instance Aberdeen, when it's your birthday, and people, they don't bother, you know, as where other people are out, you know. So it's got a massive impact on in Glasgow community, you know.
Do you feel like to be successful in boxing, either as a coach or a boxer, you need to sacrifice a lot of what people maybe take for granted? You mentioned their birthdays, but I imagine there's probably events and that you would wish you were at, like as you said, you're travelling all the way up to Aberdeen for shows. So do you feel like you need to sacrifice a lot in order to achieve?
I think you do. I think you need to sacrifice a lot. You know, it's like you've got to sacrifice a lot of your family time for time with the boxers. Like there over Christmas, we've got 2 in the intermediates now opened up the gym 3 times just to do something for them, so that they understand that if the coach can do it, give up his time, they can. So it's like just getting the happy balance, you know what I mean, to keep them going.
So we've got your home show coming up on the 7th of March. It's at Hampden, so it's a big event for you. You looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be brilliant. You know, these kids have, for the last 6 years, have all worked so hard, and it's time to reward them with a right good show. You know, it'll be Scotland against England in the National Stadium, which kids will be able to talk about. It's a legacy. You know, they've boxed at the National Stadium, which I think me as a coach is proud to be able to do that for them, you know.
So we will be out at the Southside Boxing Academy home show in March. We'll have all the fights online. If you are from a boxing club and you've got a home show coming up, get in touch. We can book it as early as possible. Make sure we're out there. We do ask that you try and help us raise the £200 fee. If you can't, that's fine, just get in touch and we'll have a chat and we'll walk around it. If you do want to support GTV Raw, now is maybe a good chance to tell you can check out our GoFundMe page. We are trying to raise £10,000 over the course of the year. That will buy us new equipment. It will be able to train people up to get more videos edited, more boxing filmed, more interviews here, there and everywhere up and down Scotland. So even I think it works out if you paid 6p for everybody that viewed our video, we'd already made our target. So we're not asking for much, 50p, a pound here or there, I don't mind. But if you can support us. If not, just share the videos and like the page. So the last video from a video vault is David Quinn from North Glasgow Boxing Club. A lot of people know David from Boxing Scotland. He has travelled a lot. Fantastic young boxer, 16 years old. He's looking to obviously make a name for himself in the youth. If you haven't heard from him, where the hell have you been? He's one of the boxers that I think is a lot of us will need to keep our eye on in the next few years. Works hard, trains hard, and he does his job in the ring. Hey guys, now I'm joined by David Quinn. Now David, before I go, you've got a whole list of titles to your name, so just run us through the ones that you can remember. So
I've won the Novice Championships, I've won the Western Districts Championships twice, I've won the British Championships, I've won the Scottish Championships 3 times, and I've got a European bronze medal for last year in Anapa, Russia.
So we'll start at the beginning, right? What age were you when you started boxing?
I think I just turned 9, so I think it was start of 2013 I started boxing.
And what made you get into it? What was the thinking behind that?
I think it was just because the gym was so close to my house, and I just decided to come down one day, and then from there.
Did you imagine when you first started, I'm going to be winning this and winning this and winning this and going to Russia, and what was your, what did you expect to happen when you first came in?
I just came because I came down just because it was just down the road, and then I enjoyed it, so I just stuck at it and just happened for there.
So going back to your first fight, I was up at Nairn at the weekend, and one of my mates' younger brothers was in his first fight, and I was trying to think, God, I've spoke to a lot of boxers that have went through this, but do you remember your first fight?
Aye.
Where was that?
Ravenscraig. It was the Novice Championships, and I hated big crowds, so I was nervous as anything, man, coming into it.
Has there ever been a time when you're like, alright, that's it, I've had enough for the training, I just want to get a Domino's pizza, I don't want to have to cut weight or focus on fights? Ever just get a time where you just want a break for it?
Probably when my coach passed away, Willie. That was when I didn't want to train or that, but I knew he would have wanted me to stay in the gym and keep training, try and get somewhere, so that's what I had just thought of it, and then made me keep going.
So that's quite a big thing, was it? Was he involved in your training from when you first started?
Aye.
So it was something like, do you think about him when you're boxing and when you're in the ring, and has that sort of pushed you forward to sort of try and achieve your best?
Aye, when I get my shots, I get his initials on the back of them, just so I always know he's there. And when I'm in the ring, because he was a judge, so he was always at my fights, like judging, but he would never judge my fights because he wasn't allowed to, but he was always there at all my fights, so he was.
And how do you feel like, well, I know I've seen a lot of posts with your mum, and she supports you, and obviously you get support for Jocko. What does that help when you're going to these big tournaments, and you feel like you've got enough support to sort of, and you obviously get Willie looking down on you as well to get you through the fights?
Aye, it's just my mum and that helps me keep my diet, so like when I'm coming up to big competitions, like she keeps me, so I'm on the scales all the time, so she's always got like diet plans for me for the week, so I know what I'm eating, and then if I'm at heavy one day, then obviously been cheating instead of like sticking on my diet. So Jocko and my mum and that help me. So
David, you're 16 years old, you've achieved more than what a lot of amateur boxers achieve, and you're only 16. So what's next? What's the next step for you? You get championships, I guess, this year, or next year?
Aye, that's the next, because I can't enter the novice or the Western Districts yet, because I don't turn youth till January, so I'd miss the youth Western Districts this year, so it's in February. So next time.
Even though you've done these tournaments, you've went like to Russia. You've travelled and made a name for yourself. You need to be, is it 17 you need to be before you?
17's when you start doing the free frees, so that's when it gets like proper, you start getting noticed. Because it's obviously the same as the seniors, except for you're just wearing headguards still. But that's like when the big tournaments come in, like the Worlds, the Youth Commonwealth Games and stuff like that.
So you have to wait a whole year before you can enter this?
Aye, well, you have to win your national championships first, and then through there, the British, and then it's the Europeans, and then if the World Championships is only every couple of years, so I think it might be next year. And then you've got the Youth Commonwealth Games. That's like when the major tournaments start coming in instead of like the juniors, but it's only like the Europeans, maybe like a couple of like international box cups and that.
How do you I was speaking, you know Sam Hickey, Dundee, so I was speaking to Sam about, and one thing he said to me that stuck in my head is that he's like, sometimes boxing feels like it's a lonely sport. And he was talking about when he's away and travelling, and he sort of feels sometimes like he's away for his family, he's away for his mates, he doesn't get to see his mates that often. Cash says exactly the same thing to me, like he wishes he could have more of a social life, but he's sort of had to sacrifice all that for the sport. Is that difficult to do?
Aye, because like you see your mates all going out, maybe like once one of the, I think it was the first Europeans I went to, it was during the summer. So like all my pals were out during the summer, and I was always having to come in the gym, and I was getting a bit like sick of it, and I just wanted to go out with my pals. But you can still do that. You just need to balance. At boxing, if you go boxing later, you can go. I can go with my pals at the start of the day, then maybe just go to the gym after.
I suppose boxing comes, like, obviously it's some people it's a hobby, and other people it's a sport, other people it's the work. It becomes further down the line. Do you imagine yourself going pro in the future, or you just know what to think about that yet and just think about the amateur?
I would like to go pro, because it's just all the big nights and that, but it's whether you make it to that, innit, really.
I hear your name a lot, like even you're 16 years old, you've already, as I said, achieved more than what a lot of amateur boxers achieve in their whole careers. So hopefully, like, maybe I'll sell this interview someday in 10 years time, be like, oh, I remember I interviewed him back in North Glasgow. So you get no fights coming up between now and your tournament? You're allowed to have any other fights? Or?
You can have like club show fights and that, but it's just like, because I've had so many fights, it's hard to like get. It's more like in England if you have them, like with the top boys in England, but you don't really get many like bouts up here, unless it's like against boys that you box with in the Scotland team and that, that are close to your weight. That's really the only time you ever get fights up here.
See, when you're away, do you get to have a laugh with other boxers? Like, I think this week I'm filming Rob Royce, I think is Jeremy Taggart. I've never seen him fight, but him and you are two people that very early on when I first started the channel that I was like, oh, I should go, I want to meet these guys and speak to them and sort of follow their careers. Do you go with him first of all? Or do you have like sparring sessions or fight or whatever?
No, I go with Jer well, but every time it's always me and him sparring, me and him in a room. It's always just like me and Jer, normally together, like everything. Been on hundreds of trips away with each other. We always, like, up at Scotland, we always train with each other, then spar with each other up there. So we help each other out quite a lot.
We'll leave it there. I'll catch up with you again, no doubt. But thank you for talking to us and good luck. Cheers, my man. Alright, our last interview, which if you're still with us after the bloody hour, I hope you enjoy it. Ahmed the Black Assassin Mueva, also known as Ahmed the Black Assassin Ibrahim, he was due to fight in February. I keep saying he was due to fight, he is still fighting in February. We've got tickets available if you're interested. There's a little bit of an issue with the person he's supposed to be fighting with, so let you watch the interview. I'm trying to be as down the middle. Obviously, me and Ahmed have a friendship and we're very, very close as mates. But I will be down the middle. And honestly, Martin Taylor, I met you at Ahmed's last fight. I thought you were spot on back then. You were a good competitor. Whatever's happened since then, the business is business. If you want to get in touch, we want to do an interview, set the record straight from your point of view, by all means get in touch. It's only fair that we get both sides of the story. So here it is, Ahmed, the Black Assassin Weather, and it's the final interview of the night. Thank you. Alright, Ahmed, welcome back to JTV Raw. We'll just give a quick update. Obviously, you're due to fight in the 8th of February. You're still due to fight, but what's the latest?
Opponent. Well, it's meant to be fighting Martin Taylor, as you know, but he pulled out again for the second time. It's meant to be fighting him back in November 29th, which the fight was agreed back in June. We agreed for this fight back in June, November 29th. So then he came back with like, oh, he needs more time to train. It's not got enough time. It's been his brother's wedding, all that bullshit. But we gave him the time for the, what month is this? February 8th. Now he doesn't want it anymore.
So how frustrating is that? I mean, I know the first fight round, everybody, I think, you stole the night with that fight. You won the Scottish title, but it was a really good fight. Fans loved it. It's televised the BBC. So I think a lot of people want to see that fight again. But you're at a stage now where I don't think you can hang around for people. I mean, November, you were hoping to fight him, and then it was reset for February. I've seen he's done interviews. You've been talking about it and been promoting it. So how frustrating is that when you're working towards something that you know will be a decent fight, but at the same time you can't hang about? So where do you want to go for now?
Yeah, it's annoying. Just like I was saying, I'm ready for like British title, Commonwealth titles and that. But Martin, the first fight we had was a good fight. So I was like, oh, I'll give him another opportunity to fight for the fight again. I don't have to fight him again. I already beat him fair and square, smashed him proper. So there's no point me fighting him. There's nothing for me to gain fighting him again. So I was like, well, just give it again for the fans because the fight was good, the last fight. So that's the reason I took the fight again for the rematch. But
I know that obviously I seen you'd commented on the news article that he'd posted when he got interviewed, and it was sort of promoting the fight. In the last, I think it was yesterday, you commented. I was going to ask if you found out or get any reasons as to why he's pulled it, but he's responded. So what's he saying?
I only pulled out last night because I was annoyed, sitting in the house annoyed. But yeah, he just got back to me just there, literally. It's like the fight was never happening in November, which is all bullshit because he's the one that agreed for it to be fight in November, and he's the one that asked the dates to be changed so he can be ready, so he can sell tickets, and that's all. Maybe we just agreed to it, me and Sam, we just agreed to the fight. I was like, right, cool, we'll fight you in February instead. But he's saying the fight was never meant to happen. So, just scared really.
So, I mean, just to be fair, I mean, if Martin, if you want to respond or jump in, and we'll do an interview to get your side, but we've seen the comments. It does. I mean, he mentioned in his comments. We'll put them up as well on the screen. But he said, "Oh, this is a hobby, not a job or something like that." But for you, it's like the opposite. I mean, boxing. You're a professional boxer. You're somebody who wants to proceed and. To be honest, you didn't need to give him the rematch. I think just because the first match was so good, you felt like, all right, that's a decent thing to do. So, what are the other options? You'll still be fighting. I mean, I know Sam has been working like to try to get you another opponent.
Yeah, there's a few options there. So Sam is just trying to look for the best one for me. Because as I said, I'm trying to move up. Like this year, I want to get big fights. Like working on 2 British titles, Commonwealth, and move on and so on. So just waiting for Sam to see what comes out with me. But I'm still fighting on the 8th and probably be a better fight and a better opportunity. So it's good that he's pulled out. It's good for him because I'm just gonna give him a beating really.
Was no the first time fighters have either pulled out or you've had bad luck. We're talking earlier when there's been a few times when you've been even due to fight for titles and last minute guys slip in the shower or when the Welsh event, he dislocated his knee a week before the fight. Do you just feel like you've got bad luck when it comes to opponents, or do you think people maybe deliberately try and avoid you?
Feels that way, yeah. Story of my life, yeah. Pulling out. So, don't know. Just wait and see.
Your last fight, I mean, the last fight was a 6-rounder against.
Sean.
And a lot of people were very impressed with that. But that was again a late late replacement, but I mean, we've spoken about it before. There's been times when you've been the last minute replacement for. So I always say to people, it's not like you've ever backed in. There's when you got. I was sitting with you when you got text for Sam asking do you want to fight or Harry Davies, and within 24 hours you were down in a massive stadium. As somebody who's relatively unknown in that area, you went down and held your own for the whole 6 rounds. So what do you wish to happen, maybe even after the 8th of February? Was by the end of 2012, would you hope to see yourself?
2012.
2020. Bang time. 8 years. That's how slow my brain is. 8 years behind. So at the end of 2020, would you hope to see yourself?
Either have a British strap or a Commonwealth title. That's the aim for this year.
So there are a few eliminators coming up. Is that what your hope is?
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, hopefully get some few eliminators, final eliminators, and just take it on from there. I know Martin is saying that's a hobby. It must be maybe a hobby for him, but to me, it's a career. I'm trying to take it for as far as I can go.
So tickets are available, and obviously as soon as we know the opponent, we'll announce it. But either get in touch with Ahmed, you can get them at Hotspot in Glasgow City Centre, or JTV Roy can message us and we'll get the tickets to you. Happy with that? So guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a bit longer than what I hoped for, to be honest. We've got a few boxers booked in the next few weeks. If you are a boxer, a boxing coach, a mum, a dad, a granny, a boxing fan, get in touch. I mean, I wanted to be able to tell this story of all parts of boxing in Scotland. If you can come to our studio in Glasgow, which is upstairs from my shop Hotspot on Suckhill Street, if you can make it, even better. If you can, I will be putting in plans to go visit. I'll be even speaking to people up in Caithness, so hopefully we'll travel up, stop at as many boxing gyms as we can on the way. I want to get back up to, say, Inch Boxing Club and Lochee, and even get over to Lochend and stuff like that. So give me a shout if you want to be interviewed. If you can't come to Glasgow, no matters, we'll get to you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.